So greetings. We are back to the channel where we talk about everything U.S. markets, U.S. headlines, everything from the headlines to the charts, where we talk about chart patterns. We talk about the indicators. We also talk about some of the earnings and profits, things like that. We're gonna get all into it, okay? So let's get started. Some of the topics that we have for today are, for example, oil is rising. Oil is rising as a key UAE port gets hit for a second time in 3 days. That's going on. We'll talk about that more specifically here shortly. Also, looking at Paramount, for example, here is Paramount. Paramount is discussing a media deal that could mean CBS will pay $1 billion more. Okay, we'll talk about that one. And again, this is my own notes for the day. I encourage you to take your own notes as well. It'll help you understand the markets better and see the changes. Also, let's talk about this one. We have NVIDIA. The NVIDIA just had a conference that will make an AI chip pivot. Right now, Intel and AMD are leaders in the data center CPUs, but NVIDIA is set to unveil new CPU details at the conference. Yes. So we're going to talk about NVIDIA as well. And also another one, this is a good one. This is really talking about ServiceNow. For example, the ServiceNow CEO says that AI agents could send college graduate unemployment over 30% in the next couple of years. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York talks about how unemployment and underemployment have been going up a lot. We'll get into the numbers on that one too coming up. Also, another one I wanted to mention was Nebius. So we talked about, what was it? Let me get back here in my notes. Nebius. Yeah, this was back on March 12th, Thursday, when the Nebius stock went up 14% on NVIDIA's $2 billion investment. Well, now Nebius signs a AI capacity deal with Meta for at least $12 billion. We'll get into the specifics on that. It could be worth a whole lot more than that. So more of that to come. So let's get started. Okay. So going back here, talking about oil. Okay, more specifically, for example, oil rises as a key UAE import, gets hit for the second time in 3 days. So oil rallied as a supply risks in the Middle East escalated after a second attack in 3 days at the vital port of Fujairah. I cannot get that pronunciation correct, but Fujairah in UAE, it's just near the Strait of Hormuz. So Brent oil rose above $106 a barrel, while West Texas Intermediate was near $100, and futures have risen more than 40% in the last 2 weeks. U.S. struck key sites on Karg Island, which is part of Iran, which handles the bulk of Iran's oil shipments, and oil loading at Fujairah was suspended. And Mr. T wants other countries to contribute to defend the Strait of Hormuz. The IEA will release oil from an unprecedented stockpile in Asia, over 400 million barrel reserve, and Japan began its release on Monday, while the U.S. Is set to roll out for the first part of a $172 million barrel this week. Morgan Stanley raised its Brent forecast for the second quarter to $110 a barrel. Okay, so bearing that in mind, let's talk about oil here for a second. Okay, so now with that, let's look at oil. So for example, here is oil right here. Now look at this chart for oil right behind me. You see this? Watch this. I'm going to spread this out. This is the 1 minute chart. Okay, this is the 1 minute. Now I want you to look at the difference between the 1 minute and the 1 day. Okay, so here we are, U.S. oil right here. This is the 1 day chart. Okay, Now let me spread this out for you a little bit right here. Okay, here's the 1 day. This is the 1 day chart. Look at how oil is just going straight up right here. And let me bring this over here, right here. Yes, so here's the 1 day, and you can see that basically since March 2nd, basically Yes, look at this, March 2nd. It's now March 16th. So look right here. Bang, bang. So look right here. So that's the oil future chart. So when they're talking about oil's futures going up, that's what they mean. And right now, let me put this here. Dun, dun, dun. Oil's future is set at 102 right now, 102. So think about that. So that's Morgan Stanley raised its Brent forecast for the second quarter to $110 a barrel. Yes. Okay. Now let's go on here. For example, let's take a look right here. This is one thing I want to show you also. This is the relative right here, relative strength index. That's the relative strength index right there, and that's the 70 line. That's the what they call the overbought line, and this is the this is the 30 line, what's generally called the oversold line. So again, this is just a guide. It's not like a sure thing, but the idea is, you know, when you get above 70, it becomes overbought territory. When you get below 30, it becomes oversold territory. Now that's not necessarily true, but that's the general. What I want to show you. See this right here, right there, 89 right now at the RSI, relative strength index. And so it's these things can go way past 70 for a long time before ever market correcting and come down. And the same thing is true for oversold. It can go way oversold for a long time before ever market correcting and coming back up. So keep that in mind when you're looking at the RSI. Okay, that's the RSI, the relative strength index. Yeah. And then, for example, this is, let me take you here, over here. Let's go to Paramount, okay? For example, right now, also taking a deep dive into this one, the NFL Paramount discussing media deal that could mean CBS pays an extra $1 billion or more. So, NFL Paramount discussing this deal that could pay $1 billion or more is pushing to increase 50% over 2.1 billion. So for example, right here, the NFL is pushing for an increase of about 50% over the 2.1 billion CBS already pays for the football games. Okay, yeah. Now look at this: 2.1 billion a year on average for its Sunday afternoon games. CBS, a 50% increase would mean CBS would pay more than $3 billion in its next deal. All right, so bear that in mind. In return for its increased revenue, the NFL would eliminate the opt-out clause after the 2029-30 season that it put in its original deal with Paramount. Okay, now part of an 11-year agreement that runs through the end of 2033-34 season, that clause would give the league the chance to walk away early if they so choose to. Now, Paramount's adjusted projection earnings before interest, taxes, and depreciation for 2026 is $3.6 billion. Okay. Now, if Paramount's merger with Warner Brothers is approved by the regulators, okay, that combined company would have an adjusted EBITDA projection of 18 billion. Okay. Yeah, so bear that in mind. So for example, it mentions here in the article that Comcast, NBC's Universal, Amazon Prime Video, Fox are also subject to the 2029 opt-out clause in their deals. All right, so this pertains to a lot of different companies, so let's check them out. Let's go here to Paramount. Paramount Skydance company right here. Okay, and again, this is on the 1 minute chart. All right, here we go. And let me adjust this a little bit for you so it can make more sense. This is the 1 minute and this is the 1 day. I encourage you to use both of them. Okay, and hold on, let me adjust this, bring this down a little bit right here. Right here, and then okay, so here, this is the 1 day chart of Paramount, and this is for example, this is the 1 minute chart of Paramount. Now, why do you use both? You use both so that you can see different patterns on different time analysis, so that you can see if you're really correct or not and how they compare. Again, here's what I want you to see first on Paramount. look Paramount down here at the RSI Relative Strength Index. You're sitting here at 33, down here at 33. So right now it's on a downward. It's on the bear market, right? And so, for example, it's looking like it's going to correct and come back up. You already see here it's correcting a little bit. Now let's look over here at some of these chart patterns. If we can find some chart patterns, let's do this. Okay. Bum, bum, bum. Now one thing right here, I want to show you this. Here's a chart pattern that jumps out at me right here. So go like this. Okay. You see, now what do you see in this box? And this box is just going up and down, for example, and not really going up or down. It's just staying the same. Look at the RSI, the Relative Strength Index down here. It's doing exactly the same thing. Now, what does that mean? This is what we call consolidation or continuation, or you have the invisible ceiling, the invisible floor, you have the resistance, you have the support, whatever you want to call it. But basically, it's like that, the invisible rectangle where it doesn't go up or down much. So think about that. And that's usually always in this center point part of the RSI between 45 and 55, thereabouts. Yeah, so let's go over here. Done. Now let's look at some of these chart patterns, okay? For example, one that jumps out at me here is the here you go, right here. Here's the head. Here's the left shoulder. Here's the right shoulder. Head, left shoulder, right shoulder. Here's the neckline breakout. You can see it breaking out and going down right there, okay? And the same thing right. Let me see if I can find another one for you. Oh, let me spread this one out. Let's see. This is the 1 minute chart, and that's why you can see different patterns. For example, here, this is basically right here. Here's one top, here's two tops. So basically you have right here the double top, one top, two top, and there's the neckline on the double top, and then boom, it breaks out and goes down, right? So there's that one. And then let's see, let me take you to some more chart patterns. Again, we're looking at Paramount on TradingView, in case you're watching from home and wondering what you just stepped into. And then, for example, right over here, you see this right here. Okay, let me highlight this for you right here. Boom, here's one top, here's two tops. So you see the two tops right here, 1, 2, right? So again, the buyers try to keep the momentum and they cannot, and the sellers take over, okay? So there's one top, two top, and then bang, the sellers take over. That's what we call a double top, and you can see right there, here's your double top neckline, and yes, it breaks the neckline and goes down, okay? Keep in mind, you also have the reverse. You have a double bottom, which would go up, and in this case, it's a double top, it goes down. Again, it's just a matter of which way the direction goes. Okay, that's enough chart patterns for right now on Paramount Skydance. So let's go over here. One thing I want you to notice right now, this is 1 minute. Let's go over here to the 1 day. Here, you see how on 1 day, you can see different chart patterns come up. For example, on the 1 day, if you spread this out and then zoom it back in. For example, here's one right here. Here's your head right here. Here's your left shoulder. Here's your right shoulder. Okay, head, left shoulder, right shoulder. And then right here, bang. Okay, this one, that's why I say use the 1 minute, use the 1 day. You'll see different chart patterns. Here, it breaks out and goes down, okay? Now, those are just a couple quick patterns for you. Now let's go to the earnings side. Before we go to earnings, here's also one thing I want you to be aware of right here. Okay, so here we go. You have right here, here's your, see these taller bars? What does this mean? Now, you see the arrows right here, the bars are taller, bars are taller, bars are taller. Okay, so you have these bars is what's called the trading volume. So as there's more price action, you see the price chart, more price action, there is going to be more trade volume. So these bars show the trade volume right here and right here. So you'll see more trade volume when you see more price action. Okay. Now right here you see the chart goes down. So right the volume is less because there's less action happening. So right now you'll see right here behind me, you can see the news update. The volume is at 15.6 million and the market cap is at 10.8 billion. This is for Paramount. Let's go here to the earnings. Okay, earnings side right here. And quarterly, you want to look at quarterly and annually, but quarterly, it depends on which one fits your strategy the most. But so for example, if your strategy is short term, quarterly might be good, but generally annually will give you more information. Okay, so right here, quarterly, again, you see how the blue bar, which is the reported earnings, is actually very, very negative. So it doesn't look good. It was more negative than the expectations. So again, that quarter was much less than the expectations. Here, again, this quarter was bad for expectations. Now, if you look over here to Q2 actually beat expectations. So let's look at annual though. Annual, you see for 2025, right here, I'll put my cursor over it, 2025, the earnings received were actually less than expected, so that's not good for the year. Lucas, welcome, good to have you back. We're looking at Paramount on TradingView right now and analyzing some of the news headlines. 2024, as you can see, 2024 for the year also missed, was less than the expectations. 2023 was the only good year recently. 2023 actually equaled expectations, so be aware of that. So you could say the last 3 years for Paramount either did not get to the expectations or equaled expectations. Okay, now just because the expectations were, or just because the earnings were not good, it doesn't mean that the profits and the income has to be bad. Let's take a look at that. Go to the statements button, boom, click annual, and in this case, yeah, the statements aren't that great either. So you can see behind me right here, you have 2025, you have revenue, gross profit, operating income, pre-tax income, and net income. So this year, 2025, everything was good, everything was positive except for total revenue. Now 2024, thanks Lucas, I appreciate that. 2024, look at that, there's more negative popping up. Total revenue was negative, pre-tax income was negative, and so is net income. Now 2023, it gets even worse. So you have everything negative. Now here's what I want to point out to you. 2023 here was worse for everything. Everything was negative, but go here to the earnings side, go to the yearly side. The only year here that was even halfway good on earnings was 2023. The irony in this case is that the earnings for 2023 met the expectations. However, when you go to revenue and profit, the worst year for revenue and profit and income was 2023. So that's why I say always check all the parameters, all the details, all the information, because one might be good and another one might not be so good, and it depends on what you're looking for to make your decisions. At Lisa Smith, hello to you too, welcome. We're talking about, right now we're on TradingView talking about Paramount Skydance, and we're going over the headlines in the US news right now. So hope you're enjoying, and let's go back here to, that was Paramount. Now, another one we gotta talk about is NVIDIA. Let me go back here to charts. NVIDIA. Why are we talking about NVIDIA? Well, hold on, my eyes are getting sore. We're talking about NVIDIA because recently they had they're gonna have a conference, and at this conference, they're gonna make an AI chip pivot, just like you can see right here in the article. Intel and AMD are leaders in data center CPUs, but NVIDIA is set to unveil new CPU details at the conference, okay? NVIDIA, let me scroll down here for you. NVIDIA shifted its CPU strategy in February, announcing that standalone processors are now in meta data centers. I'm sorry, and yeah, they're now in meta data centers. NVIDIA's GPU have been hottest selling for years, but Agent AI has brought on demand for its modest host chip. The CPU Bank of America predicts CPU market could more than double. Oh, wait, let me rewind that. Bank of America predicts the CPU market could more than double from 27 billion in 2025 to 60 billion in 2030. Okay, in the latest quarter alone. Yeah, in the latest quarter alone, NVIDIA generated data center revenue of $62 billion, up 75% from last year. Okay, the CPU demand comes from mass AI adoption, from chatbots to task-oriented agentic apps. AMD and Intel have warned of supply shortages. Delivery lead times are up to 6 months, and prices have gone up 10%. Let me say that one more time. AMD and Intel have warned of supply shortages. Delivery lead times are up to 6 months, and prices have gone up 10%. Welcome to anyone who's joining to the channel where we talk about everything U.S. markets and U.S. headlines, and we break down some of those same companies on the tickers. So, having talked about NVIDIA and AMD and Intel, let's go ahead and take a look at them. But yeah, wow, this is interesting, right? So, okay, let's go over here to NVIDIA. NVIDIA right here. Okay, this is the 1 minute chart. I encourage you to look at not only the 1 minute, but also the 1 day. So here we go. And right here, here's the 1 minute. This is the 1 minute chart. This is the one day chart. Let me get this one up here. Right here. One second, let me adjust this. Okay. At ALA, you look like Sid from Ice Age. Okay, well, thank you very much. Gotta have a sense of humor. Okay, so looking here at NVIDIA, this is on the 1 day time. First thing we're gonna look at right now is the RSI. RSI right here is sitting here at 44.45. So right there, 44.45 means it's very, very neutral. And that's also what you see here captured in right here in the price chart right here. Very, very neutral price chart. It just goes up and down. You see the consolidation, the continuation right there. Yes. And then, so it's kind of, you see the same thing down here. Not perfect consolidation, but pretty much it stays in the center. So you see right here, you have the, again, invisible ceiling, the invisible floor, or you can say the resistance and the support, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's right there. And let's go here. Also, what I can mention to you is the, I can also tell you about the MACD, moving average convergence divergence. That's this blue line right here. Now, what does the moving average convergence divergence really do? Well, it's basically based on the history and makes a prediction based on the history. So when you see the blue line crosses the red signal line going down, you're going to see going down the price chart up here. The price chart's going to go down when the MACD crosses the orange line going down. The same thing, for example, if you see right here, right there, the MACD line, it goes up on the red signal line. So right here, you see right there, the MACD line goes up, or I mean, so the price chart for the chart pattern goes up right there. So when the MACD crosses going up, the price chart goes up. When it crosses going down, the price chart goes down. Same idea there. little leaf, LMAO. It is Sid. Glad you guys are enjoying. Anyway, so this is NVIDIA. Okay, now having said that, let's take a look here at some of the chart patterns. One thing I would want you to notice here on the 1-day chart is, for example, right here, you see again these trade volume bars where you have more trade volume right there. The trade volume, that means there's usually more price action in the price chart, if you can see that. Okay. Welcome everyone. And so, for example, let's go here to some of the chart patterns. We can also go here to the one minute. We can look at some of the chart patterns on the 1 minute. Sometimes different patterns pop out on the 1 minute versus the 1 day. Here's a small one you can see, for example, RXAX, cool glasses. Yes, thank you very much. These glasses, as you can see, they got the red tint. They filter out the blue light. So it's a lot of times when you're looking at a computer or a phone for a while, the blue light makes your eyes hurt, gives you a headache sometimes. So these actually really help to filter the blue light, so that it doesn't have the same negative effect. So yeah, thank you very much. Here's the, as you can see right there, that's the reverse head. And then right here, left shoulder, right shoulder. It is small, it's a small head and shoulder, it's not a big one, but there it is. And then here is your slanted neckline. And then right here, the head and shoulder, the reverse head and shoulders will break out and go up. And that's kind of what it does here. Yes. Again, this is the 1 minute. We're looking for different chart patterns on NVIDIA. And if you zoom in, for example, let's see, zoom in, zoom out. Yeah, you'll see different patterns when you zoom in, zoom right here. Here's your double top. Now, why do I say this is a, let's see, VTY. Yo, hello to you too. Yes. If there's a ticker or something you want me to look up, just let me know in the comments. Yeah, this is an educational channel where we talk about everything U.S. markets and U.S. headlines. So we're not here to sell, we're not here to persuade, we're just here to give some info on the charts. I'm interested in the charts. Got it. Cool. Well, if there's a ticker symbol that you want me to kind of analyze, let me know. I'm just, for example, if you're just curious about chart patterns, just keep watching. I'm going through chart patterns as well. So if you're just curious about chart patterns, just keep watching, no problem. This is a double top. You see how both tops come up right there to about the same place, the double top, and then right here, if I can show you the neckline, you see my little blue crayon right there? That's the neckline for the double top. When it breaks that's where it breaks out of the neckline. Yes, so there you go. And then right here, let's see, let me show you a different one. Again, zoom in, zoom out, for example. Oh, here's a nice one. If you look over here, this is a good one. Right here, here's your reverse head, left shoulder, right shoulder. See here, it looks better, left shoulder, right shoulder. But this is supposed to break out and go up, but it doesn't break out. You see left shoulder, right shoulder, and then here is your neckline. But actually this one is supposed to break out. Again, sometimes that's why it's important to be aware that sometimes these patterns don't break out. What's a widow's least favorite time? Point miser, I like it. Thanks for the good humor. Yes. Breaking news, sell everything. Yes, good to have you guys. Always appreciate the humor. It's welcome. Let's see. Yes, welcome to the channel. We talk about everything U.S. markets and U.S. headlines. And yes, we try to keep a sense of humor at all times. That's important. For example, this is the 1 minute chart on NVIDIA. Okay, Susie Little. Okay, let me put that on the list. Okay, I'll get to them shortly in just a minute. We have got it. And this is we look up publicly traded U.S. charts. We don't do really any of the other stuff, but yeah, as long as it's publicly traded U.S. tickers, I can generally do that for you. So there you go. And Susie, I'll get to those in just a moment. Let me finish here with NVIDIA charts. For example, here, if you look right here, boom, 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 you basically have a triple top. You see how 1, 2, 3, they all come up and go to the same place. They peak out right there. That's basically what you call a triple top, and then bang, it does what it's supposed to do. It breaks out and goes down. Let's see. Yes, thank you for the likes, Jonathan. Very much appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, here we go. Let me see if I can get you a couple more chart patterns here. Maybe some more interesting ones. Let's see. Okay, we go over here to the 1 day, and you'll see, for example, maybe we can get some different chart patterns in the 1 day that show up. Again, look at them both because you'll see different ones pop up in different places. Yeah, let's see. Oh, here's a good one. So here's on the 1 day for NVIDIA right here. Again, a double top right there. They both come up to the same point. They double top and come out. And then right over here, let's see if I can, yeah, okay, well, that's enough. That's enough for now. You get the idea. If there's other patterns you want to see, let me know. So HGM, sell everything right now, it's over. Yes. Susie, good to hear that. Good job then. Yeah, always nice to get the positive vibes in the channel. So congratulations, good job with that. Now, right here, we're sitting at NVIDIA right now. Again, NVIDIA is sitting here at 46, and you see how it's right now, it's consolidating right there. Let's go over here to the, again, volume-wise, you're seeing at 160 million. Market cap is at 4.3 trillion. And if we go down here to the earnings, let me show you this. Again, you want to look at quarterly. You mainly want to look at annually, but if you want to, depending on your strategy, if you want to look at quarterly, there it is too. So Q4, and again, Q4, you see the blue. The blue is what is actually reported, actually earned. The gray is what was actually predicted, forecasted. So again, Q4, Q3, and Q2, they all beat the forecast. Let's see, I inherited 12 grand last year, and I've already turned it into I inherited Jake. I inherited 12 grand last year, and I've already turned it into 5 grand. So you went from 12 down to 5. I appreciate that humor too. Welcome. Or is that humor, or did you make a mistake with the numbers? I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a funny comment or an error on the numbers part. But anyway, yes, welcome everyone. So yeah. As you can see, NVIDIA for quarter beat all 3 quarters expectations annually. 2025, right there, as you can see, 2024 and 2023 all beat annual expectations. So if you're looking basically at the earnings part for your main data points, the earnings look good, but I encourage you to look at all the data points. So for example, another data point you could have is profit, you could have income, you could have revenue, stuff like that. But you can always have, sometimes you have bad earnings but good profits, or bad earnings and good revenues, things like that. So let's look here at, here we go. Put the statements on the 1 year button. And in this case for NVIDIA, their revenue, gross profit, operating income, pre-tax income, and net income, it's all green, it's all good. Yes, Jake. Okay, now I understand what you mean. It took 12 grand, turned it into 5. But you're right. It's not. You don't think of it as a loss. It's investment in learning. That's true. Good attitude. That happens with everything in life. You're gonna have to learn before you actually. Yeah. So thanks for sharing that. It's important for the audience to hear that too. You're definitely not the only one that has done that, will do that, or is going to do that. So yeah. And your humility is noted too. But anyway, back here on NVIDIA, you'll note that not only were the earnings good the last 3 years, but also the revenue, profit, income was also good. So some people enjoy looking at the forecast. I don't. I'm just showing you this in case it's something you're interested in, but this is something I don't put too much salt into. I think with a bucket of salt actually. But there's the forecast if you wanted to see it. That was NVIDIA, because they're in the news right now talking about their pivot with chips. Now let's talk about this one. This was interesting, I thought. This is ServiceNow, talking about ServiceNow. This is how we got all this AI going on, but for example, it could easily send entry-level workers, which are fresh graduates. Dun, dun, dun. Seriously, yes, that does help. Yes, I appreciate those comments. Yes, yeah, and I do not disagree. I agree with you. So AI agents could send college graduate unemployment over 30%, hence the article, the next couple of years. And it's the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Okay, this is where this information, okay, right here, I'll highlight that for you. Right there, the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, unemployment for college grads at the end of 2025 was 5.7%. The under employment rate of 42.5% is the highest level since 2020. Yeah, again, the unemployment rate for college grads 5.7 according to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, and the underemployment is the highest since 2020 at 42.5%. So that's interesting. And since, for example, this has been according to ServiceNow. Let's go here to ServiceNow. Let's look them up right here. Hold on one second. And ServiceNow. And if you're wondering about ServiceNow, ServiceNow, it engages in the provision of end-to-end workflow automation platform for digital businesses. It's now platform is a cloud-based solution embedded with AI and machine learning. So that's a little bit about ServiceNow. And if we take a look at them right here, let me adjust these volume bars a little bit, adjust this so it's easier to read. Now, for example, here's one. Let's see. Here's one thing I want you to see. As you can change, alter the timing right there. You'll see different patterns emerge. Right here, we're on 1 day, and one thing I'll show you right here. You have right here. Here's one bottom. Here's another bottom. So right there, you have a double bottom, and then bang, it does what it's supposed to do. This chart pattern actually does, break the neckline. And the neckline, for example, is where they meet right here in the, you see it meets right there in the middle and comes right back down. So where they meet in the middle, that's the neckline and that's the breakout. And if you're looking at ServiceNow, for example, your RSI right now is at about 47, 48, which is super, super neutral. As you can see, for example, it just corrected. As you can see, it was at a peak there, and then it came right down. And again, I want you to know that on the RSI, it can go way, way, way oversold for a while before it ever corrects and comes back up. Yes, Soup from Goldblood. Yes, good morning, greetings, and welcome. Right now, we're taking a look at ServiceNow on TradingView. We're going through all the market headlines and stuff. So yeah, welcome to the channel. Enjoy. And let me show you. Let me see if I can change this a little bit. Show you some different chart patterns on the 1 day. Here, zoom in, zoom out, and let's see. Right here. Yeah, for example, here's one. If you here's your peak, here's your left shoulder, here's your right shoulder, and then here's your neckline, peak, left shoulder, right neckline, breakout. And this one actually does break out and go down. So that's the good part. I mean, that's the interesting part. You can actually see that chart pattern much easier, much better. Let's see if I can get you another one here. This is the 1 day. Let's go to ServiceNow. Service now. This is the 1 minute chart. Okay, let me adjust this really quick. Okay, here we go. Let me bring this down. Here's the 1 minute chart for service now. You can see with a 1 minute it looks different, and that's why I say look at both different times, and you'll be able to see different chart patterns. Okay. Here's a chart pattern that doesn't break out. For example, right here you see the reverse head, left shoulder, right shoulder. See this one, it doesn't break out. It just kind of stays the same, and then that happens a lot. But here's one. Let me show you. Let's see. Here we go. Yes. Here we are. Zoom in, zoom out. Here, well, look right here. You see this? This is the reverse head also. The reverse head there. And then you'll see kind of, here's your neckline, your shoulders. You see how the shoulders and the neckline are not always straight. Sometimes they're curved, or sometimes they're like hunched over. Yeah, they don't always need to be, straight necklines to be a head and shoulders. So just bear that in mind. And let me see if I can get you another one. Here's one right here. For example, here's your head. It doesn't always have to be a perfect head. And then here's your left shoulder, here's your right shoulder, and this is your neckline breakout. And so their head, left shoulder, right shoulder, neckline breakout, and bang, it goes down. And you'll see a lot of times, sometimes some chart patterns have more double tops, double bottoms. Some chart patterns have more double or head and shoulders, reverse head and shoulders, things like that. Each chart pattern is a bit different, and you'll always see different patterns in different charts. So hopefully that's helpful. Again, right here, let me show you this. This is a double top right here. Bang, double top. You can see it does go down right there. So let's go back here to the beginning. That's the 1 minute chart. Let me erase this. And again, this is service now on TradingView. Dun, 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 dun. And right there, put that right there. Jimmy, I don't know why you'd say that. This is an educational channel. We're not selling anything here, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, guys, welcome to the channel, guys and gals. This is an educational channel. You're welcome to always ask about different tickers, different chart patterns, things like that. We're basically just here to show you the news, the headlines, and how to break it down on TradingView. So hopefully you're enjoying it. If you have a question or something, let me know. This is service now. One thing I want to show you again is when you have right here in the chart patterns right here, boom, 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 you have more price action. It means you're going to have more trading volume. More price action, more trading volume right there. Less action, less price action, less trading volume right there. Okay, and also with less price action, with less trading volume, a lot of times that's when the market slows down and your relative strength index goes neutral. Okay, so right now the volume is at 14.8 million. Market cap is at 118 billion. This is for service now. If we go here to earnings, let's go here to earnings. Dun, dun, dun. You have the quarterly, the annually, right here in Q4, Q3, and Q2. You see how the blue bars, let me show you this, the blue bars are higher than the gray bars. The blue bars represent what was actually earned, and the gray bars represent what was actually predicted, okay? And you can see all the three last quarters for service now were all higher. The actual earnings, reported earnings, were higher than expected. Same annual, go to annually. Annually tells you more. It just depends on your strategy. If you're a short-term strategy, then quarterly might be helpful, but usually annually is what they look at. This is nice. The girl whose name rhymes. Interesting comment. Yeah, actually, that's a good comment. What did you grew up? Yeah, that's sometimes yes. But again, every day is a new adventure, and life always changes, just like everything else. You know, so your goals, dreams, and ambitions also change as life changes too, and that's kind of normal. But yeah, it's interesting the way we thought when we were younger and the way we think now. Yeah, so cool. Peter, welcome to the channel as well. Hello to you too. Right now we're looking at ServiceNow on TradingView. Again, this is an educational channel, so just giving you the information. Hope you're enjoying it. Yeah, so annually, the earnings on ServiceNow 2025, 2024, and 2023 were either the earnings that were reported either equaled the expectations or beat the expectations. So be aware of that. And if we go here, we're going to compare this with how the income, the profits, revenue was, because sometimes you can have good earnings and then have bad profits or bad revenue. It's so you always want to be looking at the different pieces of information. So statements, click the annual button, and this is interesting actually, because here in this case you'll see that the revenue, gross profit, income were all pretty good in the green, just like the earnings report was. So look at the last 3 years for 2023, 2024, and 2025. The revenue, the gross profit, income, and net income were all green, all positive, except for the 2024 net income. And again, it's like I said, go here to the earnings. Interestingly, the earnings were pretty good, just like the income and the revenue. So there's that. Peter, you asked, what are your glasses? Oh, good question. Peter, these are my blue light blocking glasses. You can see the yellow tint, so they block some of the harmful blue light that comes from the phones or the computer screen or the TV screen, stuff like that. If you look at the computers or the phones for a long time, sometimes it'll make your eyes sore, give you a headache, and these help to block some of those rays so you don't get the eye strain and the headache as much. But yeah, that's the idea. Thanks for the question. Yeah, so that's ServiceNow. Again, some people enjoy looking at the forecast. I personally do not. Yeah, you heard about that. Yeah, generally speaking, the more yellow hue, the more they block out. But there's ones that have zero, like they look clear. Those don't block much at all. So it's like those actually, they look pretty nice, but they don't block anything. There's ones like this that are kind of mid-range, and then there's ones that are much darker, so that if you want to watch a movie at night before you go to bed, it'll block out a lot of the blue light so that you can still go to sleep. But yeah, there's different levels of the yellow hue, and generally certain levels of hue will block out more or less depending on what you want. Yeah. So here's the forecast. Again, I don't look at it much, but there it is for you. Let's see, real estate denotes. Yes, I know. On the big, it could be. I try not to be so negative, but I know what you're referring to. I appreciate the comment, and I know what you're referring to. But yeah, it doesn't do any good to be negative, but it does. It is good to be aware. Okay, so that's ServiceNow. One thing I would also like to share with you is Nebius. Why? Because Nebius just made a deal with Meta. Let me show you that. I'm going to erase this one here too. Here, where is it? Nebius, yeah. So if Nebius just signs the AI capacity deal with Meta for at least $12 billion. Let me share that with you. The 5-year deal, it's a 5-year deal. Again, these are my notes, not a script. I spend copious amounts of time looking over some of the headlines and stuff. I encourage everyone to do the same. It's a 5-year deal for computing capacity. Meta will also buy an additional 15 billion of capacity over 5 years. So the total could be 27 billion. Yeah, right here it mentions that. If you're looking right there, under the deal, Meta will also buy an additional 15 billion worth of capacity over the 5 years if it's not sold to other customers. Given the contract, a total $27 billion. So yeah, right now it's at 12 billion. It could be 27 billion. And welcome to anyone who's joining. And if you, this is again, we're just going over the U.S. market headlines and talking about Nebius right now. One thing that's right, I was going to look at. I told someone I was going to look at that. Yeah. CVX. Somebody asked me about CVX. That was you, Susie, right? Sorry, I got sidetracked and forgot about that. So here's CVX. Hold on, let me adjust this. This is the Susie. If you're still on, sorry, I forgot. But here's your Chevron CVX. Dun, dun, dun. Let me adjust the timing here. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, here we go. Okay, and adjust this. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, that's the 1 minute chart, and then here is the 1 day chart. Yeah, this is because oil is big time in the news right now for obvious reasons, and so why not look at Chevron? Dun, dun, dun. Okay, and yes, look at this day chart. This is the daily chart, and then ever since about, what was it, December 18th, December 22nd, it's just been, yeah, look at that. That's what we call, this is my, this is the bull chart, right? So there you are, Susie, if you're still, if you got in the Chevron, this is for you. Just give the, yeah, but there's that. And let's see, right now it's sitting at, what is it, 196 right now. And look at the RSI. The RSI keeps on going up, and it just keeps the market correcting and staying right there at 70. Let's see, dun, dun, dun. If you're joining right now, welcome. We're talking about Chevron right now. It's, for example, it's right there at the overbought line, but again, the chart keeps going up and the RSI just keeps adjusting and staying there. So this thing has got room to run. If you look at the chart, it's doing, and also, when there's more trading, you see, or when there's more price action, you see all the trade volume. Boom, these are the trade volume bars. See that as well. And let's look here. Let me give you some chart patterns if I can. The ones that jump out at me. Okay, so for example, here's what you might have as a reverse. Here's your reverse head. Here's your left shoulder, here's your right shoulder, and here's your neckline right there. But this one, reverse head and shoulders, doesn't break out. Sometimes they don't break out. The reverse head and shoulders is supposed to go up. This time it doesn't. But if you look right over here, this one, here you are. Also, here's your reverse head, left shoulder, right shoulder. This one does break out just a little bit. Head, left shoulder, right shoulder, small breakout, and then right here, here's your double top, and then again with the double top it breaks out and goes down, and with the double top, here is your neckline, bang, going down, okay, and then right here, also another, show you this double top. Right there, double top, and then bang, it goes down. The same thing right here. This is the 1 day chart for CVX. Use your double top as well, okay? And yeah. Okay, that's enough for that. So going back here, dun dun dun. Over here. Let me see. Yeah, let's go to the earnings side. Right now, the earnings is at 3.02 million. Market cap's at 392.7 billion. And if we go down here to the earnings, Um, Again, you have the earnings on the 1 quarter or on the 1 year. Right now, if you're on the quarterly, it depends on your strategy, which one you're looking at. But Q4, Q3, and Q2, you can say that each quarter for Chevron, the last 3 quarters, last 3 quarters all exceeded earnings expectations. Annually, though, 2025, yes, and 2024, 2025 missed it. 2023 also missed it. Okay, so the last 3 quarters were great, but annually, for example, 2023 just barely missed expectations, and 2024 missed expectations, but 2025 as a year beat expectations overall. So that's the earnings part. Now, if we look at here at the statements, you have the revenue, the profit, and the income. So for example, 2025, all red, 2024, all red, 2023, all red. So that's the interesting part. The earnings part actually looked better than the revenue, income part, and the profit part. So again, let me show you that right here for CVX. Annually, see the earnings look okay, but go over here to the revenue and earnings, and it doesn't look good. It's all in the red for the last 3 years. So bearing that in mind, that's Chevron. And what about let me show you the other one. Okay, here we go. And we talked about Exxon. Yes, Susie, if you're still here, here is your Exxon, the 1 minute chart, and then Exxon, the 1 day chart. Sorry again for the delay on this. Okay, what do we got for Exxon? Because right now, yes, Exxon is probably pretty similar. Let's see. Peter Martin, hello to you too. Again, right now we're looking at Exxon, just going through some of the Okay, yes. Note that on the 1 day it's going up as well, but here, I'm going to pull this down a little bit. Ever since about February 10th, right here, it's basically, let me highlight this. This has basically been doing some consolidation. You see right there how there's the invisible ceiling. Susie, thank you very much. Yes, you're welcome. I appreciate the likes and the shares and the comments. Hopefully I'm adding some value to your life. But yeah, consolidation, continuation, you see the ceiling, the floor, or you want to call it the resistance and the support. You'll also kind of, again, you'll see it down here in the RSI at the same time a little bit as well. Peter Martin, hey, I had RSL. Okay. Let's see. Thanks, Peter. Thanks for sharing that. Got it. And let's see. Okay. Anyway, so there, you see the RSI and you see the consolidation up here. That's what I mean. They kind of correlate a bit. And going over here, let's zoom out a little bit on this. Again, this is at the 1 day chart. And where did this, basically you can see ever since about, October 24th, it just starts going up like a hockey stick right there. Now, for the chart patterns, it's look right here, Basically, if you zoom in, zoom out, you'll see them show up. Here's your double top again, and then double top, boom, boom, and then bang, it comes down. Also here, same thing, double bottom is just the opposite. It bottoms out twice at the same point, boom, boom, and then it goes up. And then over here, let's see, Oh, right here, let me show you this one. This is, you zoom out, this looks almost like basically a head and shoulders. Go right here, here's your head, and then right here's your left shoulder, right shoulder. Again, these are not like perfect shoulder lines, but nonetheless, it's there. It does go down just a little bit from the neckline. Again, I just want to be able to show you that. Here's one. Again, looking at Exxon, because I don't know the code. They were taken, Peter. They were taken away from you because you didn't know the code for what? Go ahead and tell me more. Thanks, Susie. I really appreciate the likes. Welcome everyone. This is the channel where we talk about U.S. markets, U.S. headlines, and we break it down here on TradingView. Here's your reverse head and shoulders. And this one's kind of cool because this one does go up. It breaks the neckline right there. Shoulder, left, right, neckline, break, and it goes up. Yes. Here, let's see. Let me see if I can get you any more. Because I don't know the code for it. Okay, Peter, the code for the account. Got it. So what are your options now? What can you do with that now? Again, here we are, Exxon. Here is there's a lot of head and shoulders and reverse head and shoulders on this chart. Again, some charts have the double tops, some charts have the double bottoms. This one has the head and shoulders one. So again, here it is. There's the head and shoulders. Again, it doesn't break out and go down, but generally that's what that chart pattern does. So again, be aware that that does happen. They don't break out. Let me go back here to the beginning, right here. And there you go, I'll take you back here. Again, I want to point this out, RSI is only sitting here at 63. And again, the chart pattern is pretty neutral. It's consolidating right now, but anything can happen right now, anything. So just be aware of that. Now, volume right now is at 22.4 million. Market cap's at 650 billion. Go here to the earnings. Okay, earnings right now. Again, there's quarterly, there's yearly. Depends on your strategy, what you're looking at. They put them. Let's see. Do you like they put them? I'm sorry, Mimi. Let's see. Do you like AVGO stock? Is that okay? I'm not familiar with that one. Is that the ticker? Is that the ticker? 1 second. Okay. What's the ticker for that? They put them somewhere in Denver. Okay, Peter, I got your message. They put them somewhere in Denver. Mimi, what's the ticker you're talking about? Anyway, so for this one, for Exxon, here we go. The last 3 quarters, Q4, Q3, and Q2, beat expectations annually. 2025, actually, whoa! 2025 just missed expectations for the earnings. 2024 beat it as a year. 2023 also beat earnings reports for the year. We go here to here we are annually for the revenue, the profits, the income. The last 3 years, if you look at 2023, 2024, and 2025. Yeah. Yeah. If you look at the last 3 years, the revenue, the gross profit, operating income, and pre-tax income, net income were all negative, except for the total revenue on 2024. So that's interesting. Bear that in mind. Sorry to bother. No problem. No bother at all, Peter. Thanks for the comments. It's interesting. Thank you for sharing it. Let's see. Got it. Mimi, I got your comment. United Gas Oil Reserve. What's the? Is that a publicly traded U.S. company? Let me know. What's the ticker for it? Do you have it? Okay. But yeah. So Susie, there you are. Hopefully that bit of information about Exxon is helpful. As you can see, even though the earnings look pretty good, the revenue, the profits, income, and net income aren't quite the same for the last 3 years. If you want another one, just ask. Let's go back here. Hopefully you're having a little bit of fun at the same time and not completely bored to death. We were going to talk about Nebius, right? I don't know. It was a penny. Oh, okay, got it. Mimi, okay, you don't know. It was a penny a share. Okay, United Oil and Gas Reserve. 1 second. Let's see. United. Okay, it's not there on the ticker. Let me see if it's over here. United Oil and Gas Reserve. Oh, here we go. Mimi, it says, it's an independent explorer focused on high impact assets. Um, um, Ticker, but I don't think it had. Okay. UOG. Okay, ticker's UOG, and that's on the that's on the London. So to answer your question, it's on the London exchange. I mainly just do what's publicly traded on the U.S. exchanges. So thank you for the comment, but really we're only doing U.S. markets here. So, but I do appreciate the comments as well. Thank you, Susie. Let's see. Okay, here we are back at Nebius. Again, Nebius signs the deal with Meta for 12 billion. It could be 27 billion. And just to give a little bit of information here, I'll look this up for you. Who is, because there's a lot of information floating around. Nebius is an Amsterdam-based AI first cloud computing provider delivering full stack infrastructure for AI training and inference, founded in 2024. So there's that. If the planet Notios too. If the planet is dying, isn't it a negative integer? I actually understand your comment. Yes. I've actually had the same question myself sometimes. You know, if we're killing the planet at the same time we're making all this money, what's the point, right? So, you know, in order to make the money, we're killing the planet. So, yeah, no, I get it. So, thank you for sharing your thoughts there. And your thoughts are appreciated. I just don't have I don't have the right answer for it. But yeah, I thought about that before. So here, let's go to Nebius. This is the 1 minute chart. Nebius. Okay, Nebius. Here is Nebius. And let me spread this out. There's the one. Here's the 1 minute. And let me put you on the Nebius 1 day. Nebius. And here we go. Yes. Okay. So here's a chart for Nebius. Did I miss any comments? Okay. So right now Nebius is doing right here on the RSI. It's sitting here at about 58, 59 on the RSI, and you can kind of see that in the chart pattern right here. It's not very overbought. It's almost consolidating it. As you can actually see. Right here, it's basically got the same, you see my red line, same ceiling, RSI right there at about 60, yeah, RSI is about 60, so it's still pretty neutral. And that red line, you see the resistance right there. And then here, let me draw you a blue line, maybe it'll be easier to see. Here's your blue line, that's the support, resistance and support, okay? And so basically it's consolidating right there. Ever since about, what's the date on this, November 17th, Nebius has been doing some consolidation. You can kind of see that here in the RSI, more or less. See right there, it pretty much basically stays in the middle. And then right here, here's your double top, and here is your double top neckline right here. See, there's a double top neckline, double top, and it goes down. And show you some more right here. Okay. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, let's see. Right over here. This one's hard to see, but you can kind of see a little bit right here. Here's your reverse head right there in the green one. And then here's your left shoulder. Here's kind of a right shoulder. And here's kind of a slanted neckline, and it does break out a little bit right there. So reverse head and shoulder and the slanted neck with a breakout. There you go. And right over here. Here we go. Oh, here's a nice one. You see how right here they come down to the same point right there. This point. So that's a good example of a double bottom. And then yes, it does break out. So here's your double bottom neckline. See right there where it comes to that point, and then boom, it breaks out right there. Okay, and done. And let's see, yeah. So that's nebulous. There's some chart patterns for you. Let's go over here and break this down a little bit over here. What's the trading doing? Yeah, you can see again right here with more. Here's a trade volume. The trade volume spikes right there, and right now the trade volume is at 15.4 million, and market cap is at 28.4 billion. And if we go here to earnings, right here, earnings. 1 second. Quarterly, again, quarterly. For looking at this, Q4, Q3, and Q2. Even though it's negative, right? But it's less negative than the actual expectations. So the reported was less negative, so actually it's a positive earnings report. Even though it's negative, it's a positive earnings report because it's less negative than the forecast, if you see that. Go here to annual. Annual is a bit different. For 2025, it was more negative than the expectations, so it was a bad earnings year. 2024 was again a bad earnings year. 2023, however, was a good earnings year. If we flip that to statements, put that there on the annual, yeah, this is kind of a little bit mixed. So for example, looking at 2023, 2024, and 2025, it was all red, all negative, except for total revenue and gross profit in 2024, and then total revenue in 2025. So yeah, this is not so good. But let's see, at Ronnie, okay, thank you for the comment, Ronnie. Let's see, Lucas, thank you very much. And having said that, again, if you enjoy the forecast, here is the forecast, but I don't put much into this. I'd actually take this with a bucket of salt, but yeah, there you go. Now, having said that, I'll be back later, but thank you all for the likes, the comments, and any shares. I'll see you guys later.